Guys have become maybe kind of more media darlings, a lot more hype, Super Bowl talk. How do you kind of handle that change, more of a spotlight on the Vikings now?
I live such an insulated life that I have no idea that that's going on. I understand that's your world. That's what you do. That's what you know. To me, this feels the same right here as it does every week. The team meeting felt the same. Lunch felt the same. Walkthrough feels the same. So, I go to my house, I play with my kids, I come back here, I grind, and it's really boring back and forth. And no matter what's going on the outside, you just kind of keep putting in the work. And after these many years of playing, I guess this is year 8 starting week after week. You have your routine, you have your process, and you just don't deviate. When you lose, you don't deviate. When you win, you don't deviate. You just sort of methodically go about your process week in and week out, and that's what I'll keep doing.
Just like Clark Kent when he's not Superman. When Kirk Cousins isn't Kirk O'Chains, he's just a boring, mild-mannered guy who goes to work, goes home, goes to work, goes home, and waits for the opportunity to go off.
Well, I like that, but I don't love all of it. I don't love all of that. I love the
Why?
Well, I know you got to be focused on what you do, and you want to block out the noise to a degree. But the noise is what has to be listened to a degree as a quarterback, because the noise is a lot of the times a little bit of the reality of the situation. And that's where, the media, the players in your locker room, they're not as insulated as you, Kirk, where they're involved in that noise and they hear it and all of that. So that's where, to me, like a great quarterback, a Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, a Mahomes, we heard Jalen Hurts a few weeks ago do it, where they hear this and then they make the messages to the team the right way about, let's not fall in this trap. Let's give this respect. Jalen Hurts said, hey, I want to bring up the Cardinals. They're a good team, blah, blah, blah. Because he understood that everybody's just talking about us. Oh, that's all it is. Everywhere I go in Philadelphia, and we got a game against Arizona this week. Our team's hearing the same thing. So let me remind the team in front of the microphone here that we're playing Arizona this week and we're not the greatest thing since sliced bread, right? And that to me is a quarterback's job a little bit. So I understand insulation. I respect that. But I also always felt like it was their job to kind of hey, guys, everybody thinks we stink. We're going to screw them over and show them. Or, hey, guys, we're the greatest things ever. Hey, we got to get back and make sure we go to work here and do the right things. You gotta do that, in my opinion, as a quarterback here.
Well, but this gets back to one of the things I always point out. They act like they don't hear it, but
I know
really
he hears enough, right?
So
I know.
What
I don't
he
know.
says at that podium may be different than what he's saying in the locker room, or
Could be.
He just relies upon others. Look, somebody is providing the appropriate leadership in that locker room,
Yep.
whether it's him or whether it's someone else.
Sure.
Somebody is getting those guys focused and getting those guys in the mindset where they believe when they get up against it in the fourth quarter, they believe somebody is going to rise up and make a play. There's a level of determination that comes through. I've seen it in Dalvin Cook. I've seen it in Patrick Peterson, and that just stands out because they're around the football. I'm sure that there are others who are stepping up. I mean, Justin Jefferson, for God's sake, it's a given that he steps up in big moments. But I think that, and this is the big challenge. Look, hey, what happened to the Vikings after the Minneapolis Miracle game? They got the crap kicked out of them the following week, 38-7 by the Philadelphia Eagles. It is difficult to come back from an emotional game like that, a big game like that, where you're euphoric and exhausted, and it's very hard to pivot and focus on the next one. So whether it's Cousins, whether it's Kevin O'Connell, whether it's someone else, whether it's other players, whether it's other coaches, whoever it may be, somebody had, the moment they got off that plane, to have a plan in place for turning the page onto the Cowboys. And I think it helps. This would have been a hell of a time for the Vikings to step into a trap if it was the Lions coming to town this week, if it was a bad team out there like the Jaguars or the Texans that was rolling in. Instead, it's the Cowboys who are favored. I'm still astounded that the Cowboys are favored in this game. Then again, they're 3-0 all time at US Bank Stadium, but they're 1.5-point favorites. But that makes it easier for whoever it is that's pressing the buttons on the players to get them to forget about what happened. Look, they still don't respect you. Hey, look, guys, after what we did in Buffalo to the Bills. We're coming home against the Cowboys, who aren't the Bills, and they still think the Cowboys are going to beat us. Ain't that some shit? I mean, that's the kind of stuff. We're getting a little too loose with that. That's the kind of stuff that is just put on a silver platter.
Yeah.
For whoever it is, it's getting everybody fired up for these games.
Well, yeah, hopefully. You're right. There's a lot of things there that should still be getting, their attention, to your point there. And Dallas is really good, and they played a division rival of yours last week, and you're watching them on film, and you're going, man, Green Bay beat them. We should be able to beat them. And, hey, they should be able, you're right, it shouldn't be lack of focus or anything like that. But also to your point, I don't care what you do. That was a crazy emotional win. It's all everybody's talked about. It's all these players have had to hear about for the last 3 days. They are physically, mentally exhausted. So now it's, yes, Kevin O'Connell, the Midas touch here. Hey, we're going to walk through. He's got to find the right way to kind of manage the football team. And it's a great matchup. It really is. It's very interesting. And again, I think Minnesota, where Dallas is going to have to reevaluate how they play a team like Minnesota, like your Vikings. They can't do what they did last week again. They can't do that. They can't go, we're going to load the box and then play man-to-man and think that they're going to get away with not, covering Justin Jefferson all game. It's impossible. That's not going to happen. He is uncoverable. You can't cover guys like him, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, man-to-man all game long. And Dallas likes to do that. So they're going to have to find a new formula on how they want to defend that stuff. And Dallas's defensive line is very small, and they're going to have to load the box to stop you guys. So you certainly got an advantage that way as far as, some of the problems you can put onto that Cowboys defense.
Well, Justin Jefferson, by the way, limited with a toe injury on Wednesday. Now, I never saw a single thing that would suggest he was injured on Sunday, except when he pretended to pull a hamstring while doing the gritty after scoring a touchdown and actually fooled the announcers and us. I didn't know that was a thing, that it's like one of the TikTok variations of the gritty where you act like you injured your leg while you're doing it. That's what he did. And it gave some a scare, but ultimately he was fine start to finish, and I suspect he'll be fine come Sunday. And it is going to be a dilemma for the Cowboys because they showed they couldn't stop the run on Sunday, and you've got Dalvin Cook who can get it done. You've got Alexander Mattison who can get it done. And then if they do overload the box, they're susceptible to Kirk Cousins finding whether it's Jefferson, Adam Thielen, TJ Hawkinson, who quietly had a very good game in Buffalo in his second effort with the Vikings. It's not going to be easy for the Cowboys. And I think they almost need to get into a shootout if they want to win this one. And that becomes the next question. Can they solve the Vikings defense? Can they gain enough yards on the ground through the air? Because the Vikings defense, you made this point. You just watch everything but the scoring plays on Sunday, and it was
up and down the
nice
field.
through butter.
Right.
Yeah. Unbelievable. It was. That's why, when Dalvin Cook broke off the 81-yard touchdown run and made it 27-17 late in the third quarter, my reaction was, it doesn't matter. You can't stop these guys. You cannot stop them.
Yeah, right.
And then, of course, they did. But the two interceptions happened in the red zone.
Yeah.
After the Bills drove all the way down. I mean, they're going to move the ball, the Cowboys are, against the Vikings, and I think that's where the Cowboys have to take solace. We're not going to be able to shut down the Vikings offense. Our goal today has to be to score more points than they score.
Yeah, I hear you. And that's where, again, Minnesota, even though defense yards not great, a little bit like, those teams of New England we've seen where, they might let you move the full ball down the field, but they don't let you necessarily score touchdowns, right? I mean, it's one of the better scoring defenses in football. That's where they've been good. And that certainly is, one thing. But, yeah, Mike, I mean, a little thing with Minnesota is, a little plain and simple until, they have to be a little aggressive, then they do it. And then, to me, that's where the game changed last week. And it's a little bit even like the Philadelphia game early in the year where it was like, wait, we're going to be sound and we're just going to play simple and take the big play away. And, okay, but they're going up and down the field on you. And then in the second half, they come out and they blitzed and they were a little more creative and they forced the issue a little bit. To me, I'd like to see them play that way a little bit instead of so kind of conservative and very simple and predictable to where, Yeah, I could see a team like Dallas moving the ball up and down the field on them if they do that. And Dallas, of course, the way they're running the football, that's going to pose some problems for your defense as well, to where, now you're going to have to put guys in some uncomfortable positions, maybe playing some man-to-man and all that. This is another game, like we talk about the game tonight, where I look at it as a coin flip. It's one of those that I've gone back and forth here, and I think I've come to my determination of who I'm going to pick, but it's not a game I'd bet on or feel totally comfortable with either way.
After allowing 14.4 points per game in the first 5 weeks, the Cowboys have given up 26-plus points in 3 of their last 4 games. So it should be a great one. And for the Vikings, it is the first of 3 straight home games and 5 of 6 at home. Their road game over the next 6 is at Detroit. They don't go outside until Week 17 at Lambeau Field, followed by Week 18 at Soldier Field. What a way to end the stadium. Your 2 outdoor cold weather rivals the final 2 weeks of the year. The other side of that, 6 indoor games before you have to do that. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.